So we have Rajiv and our VP Education Rahul with us. So please self-introduce yourself.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, I'm Celia.
Hi, I'm Rahul Jain.
I'm one of the speakers today, so
yeah, I know.
it'll be an interesting experience to join up. And you guys are all still locked up, aren't you? You're all in lockdown still. So in our club in Australia, we're all on Zoom in separate houses at the moment, but in general, we can meet in a group setting now, which is nice.
We are not in lockdown as of now. The things are getting easy in India now. We have got the vaccinations also last week itself. But yeah, we are having a virtual meetings only. We are not going to office as of now. We are working from home only.
Okay.
So things are not that normal as of now.
No, it's getting there though, so that's good.
Yeah. So I work for a company called Rio Tinto. That's an Australian company.
Oh, yes, it is indeed.
You must have heard about it. I've been in Queensland also 3 years back. So it just reminded me when I came to know like we are having a meeting with you guys.
Nice.
I think things are a bit normal in Australia. I think people have started going to offices also.
And dancing. We're dancing now.
Yeah.
That's my benchmark for freedom is dancing.
I hope we'll get the same opportunity soon.
Yes, I hope so too. Yeah, slowly. Once you can go back to your workplace, then they don't usually do dancing straight away. It's just slowly the workplace, distances in the workplace, maybe half the staff. That's what we did in Australia. Half staff, then just rotated the staff and then had little cafes that had less spaces available, but then it just became more and more.
Yes.
Yeah.
We should congratulate you on your cricket success too over here. You guys follow cricket? Hey?
We are not
very well with the cricket against Australia.
Yeah, we simply enjoyed that.
We played very well.
Don't be so modest.
Yeah.
And Kim, your sound was breaking up a little bit, so that's why the guys couldn't hear you quite clearly initially, I think. Can you hear him better now?
Yes.
I can hear you better now, but can everyone else hear Kim clearly?
Kim needs to speak a bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
We can hear you now, yeah.
It's clear, yeah.
I think sometimes when just one person's speaking, everyone else should mute, and it just makes it a little bit clearer normally.
Yeah.
Am I clear enough?
Yes, yeah. Jeff, you're clear enough, and I'll mute now just so all the others coming in might want to say hello.
Yeah, and hello everyone anyway.
Hey, hi, Sinjani also.
Yes.
Hi, Sinjani.
Hi, everyone. And Celia. Hi.
Welcome for joining.
Yes. I'm here
Thank
for
you for
waking.
Yeah, thank you for waking up.
Thanks. You're welcome.
No problem.
For the rest of you, I think both our backgrounds are familiar to each other almost. It's like, we have just known it. We have been speaking like, I don't know, quite a few times a week, every day, every week. Yeah.
Yeah.
So lovely to see all of you.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm going to mute now, Sinjini.
Yeah, same here.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi, Vishnu.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Susangat from Gurgaon.
I'm Vishnu Dixit from Gurgaon, India.
Good morning. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Anil from Gurgaon.
Good morning, everyone. This is Monica from Gurgaon.
Good morning, everybody. This is Celia from Australia.
Good morning. This is Dushyant from Gurgaon.
Hi, Dushyant. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
Dushyant is my friend and he has joined as a guest today, Anirban. I requested him to attend the first meeting, joint meeting.
Oh,
that's awesome. So just only request Dushyant if you can rename yourself as Dushyant. Currently it is showing Nibha, or
Yeah,
I can rename it. I can rename you if that is fine with you.
Yeah, sure. My name is Dushyant Agarwal. I work with Maersk. Maersk is a logistics company, and I'm a friend of Sushangat. We have been running together, so that's how we got to know each other. And he, suggested me about this group, Toastmaster. So it's a good way to enhance communication skills and to get in touch with other people also, enhance network. So that's how I got into. You are seeing me as Niba because that's my wife's login ID. I'm not that tech savvy, so it took some time for me to get through this Zoom call. I'm quite familiar to Microsoft Teams, so that's how it took some time. So that is about this. For me, as I told you, I work with Maersk as a sales manager. It's a logistics company. I'm married. My wife is a software professional. I have 2 kids. My son is 9 years old. Daughter is 5 years old, and we stay in Gurgaon with my parents. Yeah. Thank you.
Welcome, Dushyant.
So, Anirban, can we quickly?
Yeah, I think all the role players have joined, right?
I think Manoj is yet to join. He has opted for timer.
Yeah. So maybe what we can do, I mean, it's already 5 minutes first, so we can start off. Maybe Manoj can join meanwhile.
Sure.
Right.
So,
Abhay. Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to all the Toastmasters and dear guests. Good morning and good afternoon. My name is Abhay Mishra, and I officially welcome you all to the combined meeting of MTC and MMTC Toastmasters Club. In the Toastmasters meeting, we follow certain ground rules. The first one is keep your mic on mute if you're not speaking. Second, keep your video camera on all the time so that members get a feeling that they are speaking in front of the public. Third, as a sign of encouragement, please show thumbs up. Let me read out the mission of the Toastmasters. In Toastmasters, we sorry. Yeah. Is somebody speaking? Sorry.
We provide a positive
we provide positive and supportive learning environment so that members are empowered to increase their members are empowered to improve their communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and growth. With this, I would like to hand over the stage to our presiding officer, Toastmasters Anirban. Over to you, Anirban.
Thank you, Abhay. And I mean, today myself, I mean, no presiding officer role, but I'm extremely delighted to have MTC people. And I would like to do a virtual handshake with all of them. And I mean, Jeffrey, it's to you. I mean, Jeffrey is the president of MTC, so I would like to hear from you. I mean, how you're feeling and what I mean. I have no words that you have joined, so please share your feelings.
Thank you very much, Niraban. Yeah, Maroochydore Toastmasters Club is in Sunshine Coast in Queensland. We probably only have a dozen members at the moment, but we're slowly, progressively building. We've got a great bunch of members. Everybody just loves to attend the meeting and and we have lots of fun, and everyone partakes in any segment of the meeting that they're asked to partake in, and that just makes it easier when when people put their hand up, because you know that they're going to learn and I'm going to learn something about them. So we have a great club, and it's just it's a pleasure to go and do this meeting, and you feel really good when you finish the meeting, and it's lovely for you to invite us to your meeting to enjoy your company too. So thanks very much for inviting us, Anirban.
Thank you, Jeffrey. The pleasure is all ours. That I can say. And I mean, to be very frankly, I completely forgot why I was so excited that I would request everyone to please unmute and give them a huge round of applause to joining us today, please. And we have already spoken with our guest Dushyant. So Shinjini, I mean, by definition, is not. I can't see her as a guest. So still we come to her. But Nimit, I could see Nimit has joined. So I think he is a guest today. Nimit, can you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah. Hi, Nimit. So
yeah, hi Nirman. Thanks for having me. Yes, I'm a guest in this meeting. So was looking forward to some excitement between India and Australia. Like we had some recently concluded test series, right? So similarly, I thought let's hang on to that hangover. So looking forward to it.
Thank you. Thanks for joining, Nimit. And I would see Saurendra Bhomik, or my beloved Bhomikda has joined. So Bhomikda, can we have him now? I think Bhomikda is not around. So obviously, I mean, Sinjini played a huge role to have this meeting happen, to get me connected with Celia. So over to you, Sinjini, that how she is feeling being part of this meeting.
No, this, I mean, I'm not at all a guest, and but yeah, this is a very exciting time. I mean, even though on screen, but it does feel very warm on this very cold, India morning. And I'm so glad to be a little part of this, and we hope we keep doing this with Australia and with other parts of other Toastmasters, because the digital world has closed us down, but it has also opened us up in these small but very interesting ways. So I really look forward to learn more about all of us, but also cross-culturally exchange notes and see what Toastmaster looks like on the opposite side of the shore. I am sure that's something that we'll get exposure today. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Sinjini. And I mean, before I do all the talking, as I'm so excited, I will give it to our lovely TMOD today with the lovely topic he has. So please welcome with a round of applause our TMOD, our immediate past president, Anil.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anirban. Thank you very much. Good morning, Indian fellow Toastmasters. And good afternoon, Australian fellow Toastmaster. It's quite cold here in Gurgaon, and I hope it's pleasant over there in Australia. Am I right? Because I was looking at weather and I could see it's 23 degrees centigrade. It's good. So if we look at the weather of India and Australia, it's a different. But there are so many aspects in which both the countries have similarities. If I talk about similarity, first and foremost, we are the two biggest democracies in the Asia Pacific region. Both share a colonial past, enjoy a free press and independent judicial system. We also share one important date. It's coming soon. Can any one of you share which date I am talking about here? Yes?
26th January.
26th January.
Yes, it's a 26th January. So here I would like to hear out from our Australian fellow Toastmaster, what is the significance of this 26th January date? Can you please unmute yourself and share how important this 26th January date for you?
Well, I find Australia Day as a time when we unite and we celebrate being Australian and all the things that have been sacrificed over a lifetime and lifetimes of other generations, just to have the things that we have now. And it's just a proud moment when you celebrate someone's life that have spent almost their entire life building up something so that everyone else can have a more pleasurable experience in life. So I'll just celebrate Australians because on Australia Day, because that's when we just all get together and believe that we're heading in the right direction for everything for our future generations.
Thanks, Jeffrey, for sharing the significance of Australia Day. Now, if I talk about 26th January for India, so who want to add here from our Indian fellowship? Yes. Yes, Anirban, you can unmute yourself and share the story of 26th January.
I would request our beloved Tharendra Bhaumik to share that. I mean, I think he was struggling with his speaker previously.
Yes.
So Bhaumik,
Good
if you
morning.
can share how 26th January is.
Of course. Good morning, and I am Shaurendra. I am a Toastmaster and have been around for about a decade. Question to me by Anirban has been whether I know much about the Republic Day. Yes, Republic Day for India is when we took, when the Britishers decided that we could run our own country by ourselves and gave us the opportunity to start running the administration. Today, 26th January is the Republic Day, and over the years, it has become one of the most significant days in the Indian calendar because every Republic Day, what I, from being a child to what I am today, is looking forward to that Republic Day parade in the morning, which is taken by the parade is, the host is actually the President of India, and the entire Indian Politburo as well as the entire bureaucracy is always there. And it is the time when India showcases its might as far as the military might is concerned. And it's amazing, someone with the fly pasts, with the tableaus, with the parade where people march through with all the latest equipments which the fighting power that India has, which is showcased to the world. This year, coincidentally, it was the Prime Minister of Britain who was supposed to, Mr. Johnson was supposed to come, but due to the sudden expansion of the COVID at Britain, he has withdrawn himself. And this would be one of those years where there would be no foreign dignitary who would be the host or who would be hosted for this particular event. Ladies and gentlemen, I urge you to get up again early morning like today and watch the Republic Day parade. It is amazing. It's where your blood starts flowing and you become so charged. And I think, like everyone in Australia would also know, how it really feels great when you feel nationalistic and you feel that we must do something for this country. And it's an amazing, amazing experience. And I urge all of you to join us. Republic Day is a big topic to talk about, so it's very difficult to take a lot of time. So over to you, Anirban, and the overview of the day, and thank you very much.
Toastmasters. Thanks, Toastmaster Surendra. It's lovely to hear. If we talk about India, India is a land of unity in diversity. India is considered the birthplace of some of world's major religions, Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism, and Sikhism. India culture is very rich and has inculcated in each one of us with great values. So if I talk about the great value, the one is Vasudhaiva kutumbakam. So this is a Sanskrit word. It means the world is one family. Now let me walk you through Australia values. So Australia philosophy is based on freedom, respect, fairness, and equality of opportunity. So we will continue our journey. Now it's time to walk you through the meeting structure for the benefit of our guests as well as our fellow Toastmasters. So we have 3 sections. The first section is prepared speeches. So today we have 4 speakers, 2 from our Australian fellow Toastmaster and 2 from Indian. The next section would be impromptu speaking. It's a more kind of, it will give opportunity to whosoever is not participating actively, okay, can speak. The third, which is a very important section, is evaluation section. So for evaluation, we have a journal evaluator. So now let me invite our journal evaluator, Toastmaster Rahul Jain, to explain the objective of this section in detail. So over to you, Toastmaster Rahul Jain.
Thanks so much, Anil. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and the guest. So it's a sheer pleasure to have a joint meeting with Mauricio Toastmaster. So excuse me if I'm pronouncing it a bit wrong. Friends, before I proceed further, can anybody tell me a word, an English word, which contain letters A, B, C, D, E, and F?
A really tough one, Rahul.
It's actually not that tough. So the word is feedback. It's a feedback. And that's all we need. We need people around us who can provide us that genuine and correct, constructive feedback, right? And that's how we evolve in our life. We improve in our life. Imagine a person who has been committing the same mistake again and again, but he don't have anybody around him who can give him the right and pertinent feedback. How would he overcome? So it is nearly impossible for a person to improve in his life unless he has somebody in his life who can give us the genuine and constructive feedback. In the evaluation and feedback section of Toastmaster meeting, we have a brilliant team called Tag Team, which will be monitoring all the speakers and will be helping me to provide a comprehensive feedback from different perspectives. So let me introduce my tag team with you for today. We have got Manoj as a timer, and Manoj has been associated with Moo Mountain Toastmaster Club for around a year now. Manoj, please tell us about your role. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster General Evaluator Rahul. Good morning, India, and good morning, Australia. Today, for this wonderful meeting, I am very fortunate. I got the role to play as a timer. As a timer, I will be note down the time constraint which you consume during your speech. So for the speaker, we have 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I will share my screen like this. At 5 minutes, I will share this green card, and at 6 minutes, I will share this yellow card, and at 7 minutes, I will share this red card, and this red card remains up until the speaker finishes the speech. And also there is a 30-minute grace period on both sides of the time slot. And for the table topic, we have a 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, similar, at 1 minute, I will show green card, and at 1.5 minutes, I will show yellow card, and at 2 minutes, I will show red card. For evaluation session, there is a 2 to 3 minutes, and at 2 minutes, I will show green card, and at 2.5 minutes, I will show yellow card, and at 3 minutes, I will show red card. At the end of the meeting, I will show my complete report, how we perform over to timing. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thanks so much, Manoj, for telling your role. For our counter, we have got Anirban, and Anirban has recently taken over as a president for Move Mountain Toastmaster Club. He has been very assertive since then, and he has been taking a lot of initiative for the improvement of our club. So over to you, Anirban.
Hi, thanks, Rahul. So this R counter role, I would like to say that Rahul is a master of that role. And I actually learned from Rahul how to introduce this role, and I will repeat it today, that R counter is someone who try to make your awful speech to an awesome speech by noting down all the filler words, typically and your favorite words that we kind of prone to repeat, like, you know, I mean, okay. So these are the favorite words we usually speak during our speeches, and that will I try to note it down. And then the pauses are good, but the unnecessary pauses that I will note down and try to make your speech awesome. So that's my role. It is over to G. Rahul.
Thanks so much, Anirban. So I'm going to play the role of grammarian also for today's meeting. And as a grammarian, I will be jotting down all the areas where we need a bit of kind of improvement. I will also be noting down the area where we are doing well, the words which we have been using, good words which we have been using, the thoughts and quotes. I'll be sharing it at the end of the meeting for the benefit of other team members also. As a grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day for today's meeting. And word of the day for today's meeting is kickstart. Kickstart. It means to make something start to happen quickly. I would say that the COVID vaccination rollout have recently been kick-started in different part of the world, and we hope to get the normalcy in near future as well. I would encourage all of you to please use the word of the day as much as possible. I will just put it in the chat box also. That's all for me as a grammarian, and I will also be observing some of the general points as a general evaluator during the meeting. So that's all for me. I'll be back with my report at the end of the meeting. So over to you, Anil, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Rahul. So we will continue our journey, philosophy. What philosophy we are talking about here? Now let's kickstart our first section, which is prepared speech section. Our first speaker is Toastmaster Celia Fuller. Before inviting her on the stage, let me first invite her evaluator, Toastmaster Abhay, to read out her speech objective. So over to Toastmaster Abhay. Please read out.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanil. The purpose of Celia's speech would be, the purpose of this project is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. So this speech would be 5 to 7 minutes long, and the speech title would be All Life is Storytelling. So all the best, Celia. Over to you.
Thank you so much. I absolutely love kickstarting any meetings. So it's amazing that you picked me first. Okay, members, Toastmasters, Indian Toastmasters, guests, and the President, thank you for this opportunity and really enjoy to be here with you. Home, business, and family. No matter what you do or where you are and what you're doing, you're telling a story about you. Now, in that, humans soak up so much information. We soak up the information with our 5 senses, but there is a 6th sense that fills in all that extra information. So, of course, when we go about our daily lives, no matter what colours we wear, how we look and how we dress, the tone, the body language that we use, we are constantly telling a story about ourselves. And that goes through all of life and all our interactions. We're always displaying something that maybe is more hidden at a subconscious level. Yet the human being is amazing in how it picks up those very subtle messages and adds to the whole journey. When my battery's going a little low, so I'm hoping I can move through this more clearly. When I started writing books, I found that the journey of writing books made me have to think much more about how I presented myself and what it was that I was giving to the audience or wanting to convey. So of course the pictures I chose would be to convey something. So when I hold up the books, so I've written 3 books, and it's How I Met Sinjini, and each book cover represents something of the books. There's one book, this one, which is a little bit about human intimacy, that something happened to the cover and it's not really interpreted very well. So it could easily change how somebody sees the book and connects with it. So of course, the story with that is I need to change the cover to create a different story, a different presentation, and perhaps a different readership or accessibility. On the other side of the work that I do, I'm a spiritual teacher and natural therapist, and of course many of the philosophies that I teach and share comes from the birthplace of India. So it's so beautiful to be able to speak to you and share that commonality of philosophy with a blend of the Hinduism and the blend of Buddhism and a bit of Christianity. And I have read a little bit about some of the other philosophies. Now in my teachings, I use another way of storytelling, and that's using colour and graphs and very much picture form. And pictures and colour tends to go into the psyche of humans and takes it into another storage part of the brain. So we lock it in and anchor it in a different way. So I would then show perhaps graphs and talk about how we come to be in a human body, how we've come from a spiritual being into a physical vessel. So you can see that colours and images grab very quickly in telling a story and unfolding and conveying the message you would like to give to others. Now in those areas of nuance, then of course it is the presence that you bring forward, the smile, the way you show your body language that's going to convey the storytelling. Nature has an amazing way of telling a story too. We always look outside to the clouds, the trees, the nature, the rhythms of nature is constantly telling us a story about how we can live on the planet better and how we can provide for our families. And within that, we learn and we grow and we listen so much more carefully to the nature rhythms. And if we as humans could listen to one another in that same gentle, receptive way to one another as we would nature, to start to understand how do those rhythms work and interconnect with us, I'm sure as a humanity, we could move through so much more together cohesively and whole. So every time a baby cries, that nature rhythm, a mother already knows to listen to that and respond. So we have an intrepid connection with nature and with our internal nature. And that's where those spiritual philosophies become so important, because in our Western world, we can very much start to move out of those connections and start to just become very analytical and not think about how nature can bring our health as well. Of course, there is another part, sound. And sound, and I have my guitar here, just as a very quick representation. Oops. Just how you can start to talk and strum a guitar, tell a story from near and far, and that hits the human senses in a whole nother way. And that's a beautiful demonstration of how we can convey what we want to convey. So everywhere we go, it's storytelling. We're telling something about ourselves, our motivations, and our care to everyone else. So as a summary, you've just learnt in such 5 to 7 minutes a fair bit about me So I've told a story about myself as well. And because that's part of my business, I've told you a bit of a business story. I've said I write books, I do spiritual teachings, natural healing, and I love music and singing. So, storytelling. We are the story. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Celia. It was really a wonderful story, and we got to know a lot more about you and what you are doing. Thank you. Thank you very much. I just want to add one thing. So I totally agree with your point. Every moment we are telling some story to ourselves. And if I say idly, we should reframe the story which we are telling to ourselves in a way that will help us. Okay, even in the negative cases, negative situations, yes, just reframe it and feed the positive story about the situation. Now let's move to our second speaker. Our second speaker is Toastmaster Susangat from Moo Mountain Toastmaster Club. So before inviting him on the stage, let me invite his evaluator, Toastmaster Kim. Over to you, Toastmaster Kim. Please read out Susangat's speech objective.
Hello, Toastmasters and guests. Today we have the pleasure of hearing from a speaker who is going to do a speech from the Effective Coaching Level 1 and First Project. Isn't that great? And the purpose of the icebreaker speech is for the member to introduce themselves to the club and the team and also understand the basic structure of a speech, to begin speaking before an audience and to help understand areas where the speaker may improve in future speech and also where the speaker performed very well. I'm really looking forward to evaluate Sushingat's speech. Have we got a title for that?
Hi, the title of my speech is Believe in Yourself.
Brilliant. So please, well, this speech is for 4 to 6 minutes, Mr. Timer. So for a speech entitled, Please Believe in Myself, please welcome Sushingat.
Hello, everyone. Good morning to Toastmasters MMT and good afternoon to our Australian friends in MMTC. My name is Susangat and I'm going to deliver my first icebreaker speech in front of you. I am 55 years old and I'm born in an industrial town called Asansol in West Bengal province, which is in the eastern part of our country. I was born to a wonderful set of parents. My mom and dad were educated and they have given us the best of the education to me and my sister. We had a wonderful child and we had a very smooth upbringing by our wonderful parents. During those days, we didn't have mobiles, we didn't have iPads, we didn't have televisions, in fact. And all we had was studies, games, Tintin, Asterix, Enid Blytons, Hardy Boys, which filled our imagination to limitless possibilities. I went to a wonderful school, which is run by the missionaries. It was named St. Vincent High-End Technical School. The school played a very important part in my life in bringing up discipline, hard work, and sincerity, which became the motto in my life in the future. After completing my school, I completed my graduation in Bachelor of Science. And after that, I had a 1-hour talk with my dad, who said a very clear mantra to me. And he said, son, I have given you the best of the education as of date. It is now your world that you need to conquer. And from that day, I kickstarted my career. I was a very average student in school and college, and finding a job was not that easy for me to start with. But I had the backing of my parents, and they have given me the opportunity to go and work anywhere, whatever job which came to my way. The first job which I had was in the interiors of tribals, where I had to do environmental impact assessment and environmental management plan. It was amidst of jungles, wherein I was working in iron ore mines. I had some spare time during that time, and I started preparing for competitive examinations. During that time, I got selected in a national contest for the job of our premier investigating agencies in the country, called Central Bureau of Investigation. The selection was tough, and we had only 26 people across the country. And I joined them as a forensic expert, as a fingerprint expert in the year 1990. It was a 3 years on-the-job training with Central Fingerprint Bureau, and I was posted in Delhi. Life was smooth. I met my wife in my office, and we got married. I had a child there, and
great organisations are good at giving us things we never thought of asking for. When we answer why, we gain the benefits from the outcome. Why is one of the most sought after quests in any inquisition. Why allows us to verbalise our thoughts. Rather than a wealth of information at our fingertips, when asked why, it's been encouraged to respond in a more of an impromptu manner. Our gut feeling gives us more of a true answer why. We have to share our why in order to convince people we're the same beliefs and values. Cultures are formed when people come together with the same values and beliefs. To be lasting success in people, we need to answer why. To earn trust, organisations need to have the same values and beliefs. And people thrive in cultures where more so where they belong, more so than where they come from. Public speaking, like parachuting, being a very, very feared pastime, simply loading someone up with a stack of information, pushing them through the door, and expecting the desired outcome, and then splat, I forgot to pull the cord, or I forgot what to say. Our values and beliefs are reflected by the people we attract. And the genius of great leadership is they're good at seeing what most people can't. So without why, attempts at authenticity will be inauthentic. Starting with why inspires people to act. Starting with why allows room for the who and what. However, we should always start with the clarity of why. You have to know why you do what you do. If people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So it follows. If you don't know why you do what you do, how will anyone else? That's why the leaders of great organisations create ways of lasting success by asking why. We still need the discipline of the how and the consistency of what. However, a clear sense of why sets expectations. Knowing your why is not the only way to be successful, but is the only way to maintain lasting success and have a greater blend of innovation and flexibility. In lots of clubs that challenge creativity and builds consistency through ongoing concerted efforts through experience, knowledge, creative ideas, we need to enhance our future by asking why and answering why. A lot of this information I have gained through Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why. And I have altered, not probably legally doing it, but I've altered a gentleman by the name of Dr. Wayne Dwyer's words. And it is just a little, and it is, don't leave with the music in you. It's Toastmaster.
Thanks, Jeffrey. Yes, I totally echo with your point, which is why. So you need to have a clarity. Until or unless you will not have a clarity, then you will not able to make yourself disciplined and start taking action on a consistently basis. So for that, the first point is ask why. Thank you very much. Now let's move to our fourth speaker. Our fourth speaker is Toastmaster Seema. Before inviting her on stage, let me invite her evaluator, Toastmaster Amanpreet. Over to you, Toastmaster Amanpreet, to read out Seema's speech objective.
Well, greeting to all my fellow Toastmasters and guests. I mean, what a kickstart for this 2021, where we're having this joint meeting cross-border, having such a diverse set of speakers, and not only diverse set of speakers, but also the topics of the speech and the pathways are also very diverse. So on that note, we are having our fourth speaker today, Seema, who is going to give her L1P3 in the pathway of presentation mastery. And the purpose of her speech is to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-researched speech on any topic. And the topic that has been selected by Seema is happiness. So I'm sure we are going to have a very exciting speech from Seema, and a note to the timer that the timing of the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. So all the best, Seema, over to you.
Our brain has tendency to highlight the negative things. But this is very tricky to revoke just by positive thinking. It takes positive action, but some actions are very powerful than others when it comes to happiness. Good morning, all. 3 weeks back, I got a book from my Mauve Mountain Toastmaster Club India, with whom I am associated. This is very inspiring book, and it's all about happiness. And the book name is Ikigai, a Japanese secret to long and happy life. So, as we know that in Japan, many people are, almost people are centurions, if you are counting the numbers. So, the question comes in our mind that what is the most important thing which plays a vital role to long and happy life? So according to this Ikigai, there are 2 ways. First, healthy food. The second one is moderate exercise to be happy. But many people think it's money. So what do you say? Is it money to be happy? Come on, guys. No.
No.
No, it's not at all. Yes,
I think happiness and contentment.
Anyone else?
To be satisfied in life. Content.
Happiness, for me, it's kind of living a fulfilling life, meaningful life.
Yeah.
Contributing.
Correct. Agreed. So happiness is a very precious thing. You cannot buy from money. Okay. Spending a hedonistic life is not indication of happiness. It's not necessary to have many big things to be happy. If it would be like this, then the richest country like US, UK, Canada, Singapore would be stand in the row of happiest country in the world. According to the survey report of 2019, Finland and Denmark are the happiest country in the world. And you know what? They got inspiration from a Himalayan country, Bhutan. As we know that Bhutan is not at a good position in terms of economic, finance, growth, GDP development, etc. In spite of this, Bhutani people live happily. So first we need to understand what is happiness, what we make happy. So there is not exactly pretty picture of happy people on this planet, Measuring happiness is not a fairly business work or task, you can say. So many people think, if you what you want, if you get it, then you will be happy. But do you think it's like that? No. It will feel happy or it will feel good for a short time, not forever at all. So Mike Viking, he's the CEO and happiness researcher of Denmark, says that our happiness depends upon our strong bonding or relationship, a relation with whom we can share our worries, our hopes, etc. And it a bit depend upon our income level. According to the research of income and happiness, found that our happiness increase up until we reach a certain level, that is $75,000 in a year. After that, these money is like platters. For example, richest person like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Mark Zuckerberg, they donate their wealth. I just want to put a very serious number, and it's a very important in terms of happiness. World Happiest Report says it is at any one time over 220 million children and 1 billion adults suffer from anxiety, depression, and conduct disorders. As we know that, Denmark is the happiest country in the world. In spite of this, suicide level is increasing there. In Japan, youngsters and adults are getting affected with a very serious issues, that is hikikomori. It's a kind of extreme form of social withdrawal. So what is the reason behind this? Why people are getting affected from such kind of thing? So the research says that there is lacking of generosity, gratitude. People are not friendly over there. Lacking of humanity, lacking of socialism. As we know that India is a secular country, and in India, India is a full of like different culture and countries. So from childhood, children are grown up with two fixed philosophy. The first one is Atithi Devo Bhava. It means our guest is our God. We must respect them. And the second one is Vasudev Kutumbakam, which is a theme of today's meeting. So the whole world is our family. And we do strongly believe in this. We do believe in friendship, humanities, and socialism. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Seema. So first of all, I would like to congratulate you to bring up such a prominent point to everyone's attention, which is happiness. And I believe we all are seeking happiness. And it's a good point. I would suggest we should introspect to understand why, what will bring more happiness within me, and start pursuing that. So thank you, Seema. Now let's move to let's move back to our theme. Now let me touch upon culture of both the countries. So we touched philosophy. Now it's time to move to the culture part. Now, if we talk about Australian culture, it's heavily immersed in the arts, sport, and humor. It is more similar style of culture with a heavier outlook of individualism and self-indulgence. So Australian is highly diverse land with multiple languages. Even though English is there is no official language, but still they are communicating more with outer world in English only. So cricket is the sports. So now let's hear out from our fellow Toastmaster to share more cultural Australian culture. Yes, Celia, would you like to add something over here?
Sure. Well, I'm a little bit surprised, and it's a bit embarrassing to even admit this, but Australia worldwide is known for the drinking culture. They do love a beer after any sporting activity and even after work. It's not necessarily my path, but it certainly is the path of many Australians. I think you have it right that individualism is where we find a little bit of rebel in us, and that comes from being coming from the colonies, that we had to stand in our own power and find our own pathway forward. And I think Australians very much celebrate that singular mindset to really get things done. And but they will always stand up for a broken down mate, as we call them, our friends. We support them, and
thank you, Celia. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, if we talk about Indian culture, it varies like it vast geography. So people speak in different languages, dress differently, follow different religions, eat different foods, but they all are sharing the same temperament. So whether it's a joyous occasion or moment of grief, people participate wholeheartedly, feeling the happiness or pain. So our speaker also touched upon, so we believe, so the Indian philosophy talks about the whole world is one family. So now let's hear out from Anirban to understand Indian culture more. Over to you, Anirban. Yep.
I mean, in Indian culture, it's a very unique thing because diversity is our culture. And if someone says that how come diversity be your culture, so you can't see any similar culture. I think India has whichever part of India you go. I mean, if you go to Rajasthan, starting from Rajasthan, then you go to the eastern part like Bengal, then Assam, and then I mean this eastern, I mean the northern part, the Punjab and all, then southern part. So southern, the geographical significance is also could be there. But the language different started within each state, and the Keralite culture, the Tamil Nadu culture, the culture in Karnataka, the culture in Maharashtra is all different. And I'm not too sure that how many countries they have their desert, they have their mountains like Himalayas, then the seaside, and everything you could think of, the geographical diversity, everything is there. Then obviously, when we talk about the cultural difference, mostly comes through food and the way people celebrate their marriage. The marriage ceremony also across the India. I mean, when actually it is very interesting that when you see the cross-cultural marriages in India. So in Singhini's family, I mean, Singhini always talks about that one of his cousin brother has got married to a Tamilian, and typically the Bengali marriages happens in evening and Tamilian marriages happen in very early, around 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning. So all the Bengalis were dragged into that marriage. They were in very sleepy eyes, and they were thought about, after all the tiring day, they thought about having very delicious food. It was all that kind of Tamilian cuisine with all tamarind and all. They find it very difficult, and find all the laddus, the sweet laddus. They thought that we're going to have those laddus. They're actually throwing it to the bride and groom. So they were thinking why they're wasting those laddus. And then they gifted with a coconut. So, I mean, these kind of funny element, enjoyment element, color, everything. So, India, I would say India is an experience altogether. So, I don't know in my life also whether I will be able to essence that, because last week only I was talking about that was the birthday of Swami Vivekanand, and Vivekanand actually, when he thought about that I will know about spirituality, I will know about consciousness, first thing he thought about, he should take a walking tour of the entire India. And that's what he did. When he knew the entire Indian people will be there, have a walking tour, then his spirituality, his understanding about the entire India made him spiritual. So that's the magic I think India has, and that's why still India might have sometimes back financially we are very rich, and then after that also some hips and butts were there, but whenever world thought about spirituality, they always thought about India. So I think that's the beauty of Indian philosophy.
Anil, can I add a little one thing?
Yeah. Singhini, go ahead. Yeah.
Since this is a very provocative topic, I cannot stop myself from sharing this.
No, it's fine.
India, of course, all of us know there are several states and each of them have different language, different art form, different local folk art, different ways of doing everything. But there is also, some kind of archaeological and scientific and biological, a lot of studies on how these came about. In India, the Northeast states, and nobody speaks often about it, it's not mainstream and it's a huge problem, so there are 7 sisters, the Manipurs, Tripura, and all of them. And interestingly, since I myself am very excited about gender intelligence and how the dynamics of male, female, and the gender spectrum works, I am coming from that space. In the Northeast, women are very strong, and actually after marriage many of the states have the culture that the man goes to stay in the girl's house and become a part of the girl's family. And from the Northeast, which is those 7 states, if you come and look at the spectrum like a string all the way down to Punjab and this side Rajasthan, like, you know, the top part of India, you would interestingly see that the northeast states, which are more feminist, have rice for their staple, which is easy to cook, which women cook because women rule the kitchen. And more you go towards the, you know, west, it is roti and several types of roti, not just one, but many types, which takes a whole lot of effort to, you know, the grinding, the entire process of cultivation, making it into flour and then making it into roti and then to be served hot, like to be made and served into the plates of the males of the family. So I think I'm not sure if okay. So you know how gender dynamics and gender politics plays into the cuisine is something that I was very excited to learn, and that also explains perhaps a bit of how unity is indeed in diversity. Over to you, Anil.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anirban and Sinjini.
I would like to share, Anil. India being, the country of, having a lot of festivals, a land of festivals. So every state has, the different way of celebrating festivals, and these festivals unites us, and it keeps us socially and mentally strong. So this is also a very beautiful part. That's my saying. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vishnu. So Toastmaster Kim or Jeffrey, would you like to add something over here? Feel free. Maybe touch upon a little bit more about Australian culture.
Kim, would you like to say something?
Yeah, please go ahead, Jeff.
Me, is it? Okay. Yeah, Australian culture. I was growing up, my father's a builder and he built houses, and there was a lot of time he spent after work, socialising with his friends and playing games, and what they have at the hotel is for fundraisers. They raise raffle prizes. They give prizes out for raffles and things like that. But that was like something to take home for your wife for being late home from work, like a tray of food so that she can cook a meal for the next, meal. But it's just a way of people getting together, learning their own experiences of what they're dealing with in life, and that's a culture that's been around for a long, long time. It's more so in the country now than in the city, but that still does thrive in the city with the drinking and the games and just socialising, learning different people's experience about what they're going through in their lives. So it is a big part of life, that side of it. It's restriction now. It never used to be so bad, but now with the drink driving and stuff like that, you're very restricted with those sorts of activities. But that to me was one of the big male activities, is having a few drinks with your mates after work and getting together and deciding what things you can change, or not really what you can change, but what things you'd like to change or like to see change in your communities. So yeah, that's pretty much all from me.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jeffrey. So
yeah,
guys,
I'd like to add.
Yes,
can I add a little bit? My phone charge
please.
is nearly gone. What I will say is international visitors that come to Australia are overwhelmed at how incredibly friendly we are and how inclusive we are. And it doesn't matter which nationality. In general, we'll embrace all humanity and people coming. There's always a very ready smile and a very ready inclusion. If we have an activity, a barbecue, if it's going to have drinks after work, if it's going to the beach, and we meet them and we know that they might not be with family, they are immediately embraced and brought in. And that's what most people would see. So we're only a very young country, really, in comparison to everybody else. And mostly if you ask what is our culture, we'll say, well, we don't really have a culture, but it's a more subtle culture in the way of our togetherness. And we are very multicultural, even though often in the media they portray us as racist. In fact, it's only a small population that might have that, because we have such a huge Indian community, especially in Melbourne. and all studying here, and in all the little different service stations, different things. We have so many Indian students coming and learning and being part of us. So I'm sure you've heard a little bit about that nuance. We have lots of taxi drivers from Indian continent. So this is a part of our life that we have learnt to include all the diversity. So we don't have just basic English food anymore. Every city, every town, you can usually find so many different foods from India, Thailand, Philippines, China. We just completely love the whole food of a multicultural society. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Vishnu, if I'm allowed to just say, put in for 1 minute, my experience in Melbourne and Sydney is, right, Toastmaster Sally just mentioned. It was amazing the way they include you within themselves. Yes, their beer after work, their rugby, which is something which they just like India, we look at cricket. Cricket and rugby are two things which can
Surinder, your voice is breaking.
did not know much about rugby of my Australian friends. Sorry, I said once I did have the opportunity of seeing a rugby match, and I know how much crazy the Australians are. Another thing is weekends at the beach. You can't take an Australian away from the beach. It's something which they just love. And amazing people, great people to work with, and very open-hearted. That's what has struck me always about Australia and visiting the various places in Australia. Thank you. That was a great, great place to be in.
Thank you, Toastmaster Surendra. So if we talk about the similarity or commonality among these two countries' culture, so it's inclusiveness. So which is the very interesting one. Okay. So if in your culture there is an inclusiveness, then definitely people will feel good about to be the part of that culture. So now let's kickstart our next section, which is the table topic sections. So today we have a Toastmaster Vishnu to conduct the session. Over to you, Toastmaster Vishnu. So I would suggest Vishnu just make it a 4 to 5.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anil, for giving me opportunity. And a very good morning to all of you from India, from Australia. I feel quite lucky to have such a wonderful, gathering. So let us kickstart table topic section. The very, engaging and interactive session. Starting with the guest, I think Dushyant, we have the guest today, Dushyant. Dushyant, topic for you is, what are you most grateful for? Dushyant?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, what are you most grateful for?
So, I am grateful for my friends and, my family. So, I've been blessed since beginning, born up in a very humble family. So I've been, educated well by my parents. So everything was absolutely fine. But presently, I feel friends is something which I really very blessed for, because especially the diversity in friends of different ages, different professions. So that is what I feel that I'm fortunate about.
Thank you, Dushyant, for giving us insights. Yes, friends, we must be grateful for everything in life. We must be grateful to the God for giving us such a wonderful life. Once a man was, just crying, and one monk was passing by, and monk asked, "Why you are crying?" Then he said, I have nothing in my hand. God has, not given me anything else. And I am just, worthless. So the monk asked, okay, I'll arrange $50 million for you. Can you give me your eyes? The man replied, no, I cannot give, because these are very, very, worthful. So we must be grateful to the God, to the people. We have lot many things. Thank you. Now the second topic is for, let's start Kim, for Kim. What impact do you want to leave on the world?
Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Well, the impact I'll leave on the world will be definitely a kickstart, because as I've always kicked off, as a young fellow, I was a very good sports person, and I played football, rugby, and what I did was achieve things that many people didn't do, because I was a representative player, and even though I wasn't very tall, I had a big heart, and I would tackle anyone in front of me. I had no fear, which is a great thing. And that brought me forward into other facets of life through my working career, family, with wife and children. And it encouraged me, and especially Toastmasters, gave me that extra confidence to help and assist other people. And the biggest thrill I get out of Toastmasters now is that nurturing, mentoring, helping other members. So I've progressed through that. I've got lots of awards, but the biggest reward of all is to help out our fellow Toastmasters. I like to kickstart them off as well. I was really pleased to be able to evaluate later an icebreaker speech. And so that would leave me enough legacy for me. If one of my children collects a D10 water or whatever, it doesn't really matter what they do, as long as they're happy, content, and enjoy life. It's the Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kim, for your valuable insights. So the next topic is for, we have another guest, Nimit. Are we having Nimit with us?
No, I think we have lost him. So I could see Prabir. Prabir has joined. So
Prabir?
Yeah.
Hello, Prabir. Do we have the Prabir with us? Okay, let's move the next topic for Sinjini. What makes everyone smile, Sinjini?
What makes everyone smile? When I was a child, I had heard a parable that there are three things that makes everyone smile, which is one, a baby, two, a flower, and three, music. And if it doesn't make you smile, then there's something wrong. We chase, I don't think we chase any of this. We chase, our life so much that we hardly stop to smell the rose. But yes, smelling a rose makes us smile. Listening to a soft, nice music makes me smile, but really not, not to be woken up by hard rock band in the morning. So we all have our choices, but I still, irrespective of everything, the innocence of a baby, the purity of, a flower petal, and just to imagine, which reminds me also of one quote I had come across, that the sun shines as if the only work it has got in the whole universe is to make that little blade of grass grow. The sun doesn't care for any reward, recognition, doesn't need the timer, the alarm, or any kind of motivation. It shines as if its only job in the universe is to make that one blade of grass grow. So I believe that flower, music, And music is subconscious. Music talks directly to, as Celia was saying, the sixth part of our sense and the innocence of a baby. I mean, they just come, pure and they just know everything. They know how to be happy. They know playfulness. They know mindfulness. They know how to be present here and now. We spoil them, we corrupt them throughout life. And then when we grow up and get into our mid-30s, mid-40s, then we read these books to get back the innocence of a child. So let the baby be alive in us and let us stop to smell the rose and let the music be alive.
Thank you, Sanjani. Wonderful. Yes, really, music has the amazing effects. Not only with humans, even animals. Even there is a research. Even plants they grow very well when they come into the contact with the music. Now the last topic for Celia. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. How do you define success? Because you're a writer, I think this topic is appropriate for you.
Define sexist as in a person being sexist?
No, Celia, not sexist. It's success.
Success.
Oh, you nearly got a completely different talk. Success. I think the success is the measure within yourself. It's not something that needs to be found in the external world and a popular vote from other people. That's the part that makes you more separate and not as complete. There's always this grabbing, chasing, trying to beat down walls to get at something. And it's always elusive, like the butterfly, yet it just flits away. That's when people start to understand that success is within yourself. Each goal that you set for yourself and you work towards and you get the end product of the goal, that's what is a successful outcome for you personally. And then over life, we each start to have different elements that we walk towards to gather the knowledge, the information. Those begin layers and layers of personal success, personal confidence. For me, I would say success is confidence and equilibrium within yourself, where it's not compared, and that brings that sense of like a completion and a unity within yourself. And then that's what personifies to other people into the outside world. And if I could ever encourage people to the more you come to knowing the internal and you celebrate with small moments, it's amazing how the outer world then reflects and wants to come towards you and share an external life.
Thank you, Celia, for a wonderful, explanation. Actually, success is the, reflection of 1% of our efforts that comes from 99% failures. So many times people just withdraw themselves when they are just near to the success, just avoiding the repetitive failures. Thank you so much, everyone. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Vishnu, do you have few more topics with you? Because I think
I do.
it's
Yes,
fine.
yes.
I mean, let's have more interactions. I mean, it's fine if we overshoot.
Yeah, sure.
So I think Vallari is with us. Then we have our guest Surendra Bhomik with us.
Yeah,
And
sure,
Rajiv
sure.
also did not have any role today, so he can also join maybe.
Right. So the next topic is for Rajiv. How have you changed in the last 5 years? How
So,
have you changed in the last 5 years?
so first of all, good morning to all and good afternoon to my Australian team. So the life for me, it's changed a lot because when I started as a, something when I wanted to learn, life always gave me challenges. So challenges are, something like if I feel in a psychologically matter, life is like a test match and we are the batsmen and fielders are always obstacles. So when you when you have to live the life very safely, in the first few hours you have to play defense. And then some after setting down, you can see wherever there is a gap, you can play cracking shot after playing the defense for few hours. So life is something like that for me. I learned my learnings motivates myself. So I'm a very much self-motivated person. I grown from the person who used to sell the clothes in retail store, and now I'm actually grown to the finance manager. Not even being having commerce degree. So you can see life. What is life? When you take it as a positive, it means lot to you. But when you take it as a negative, it's nothing for you. So like in today we had a topic, grateful to what? So grateful to God, grateful to yourself that you are on the earth and you are the one of the best creature of the world actually, or of the earth. You should take it your life as a positive and give happiness to the all. When you give happiness to all, you will get happiness. That is something for me as a life. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajiv. Thank you so much for wonderful insights. Now, I would like to extend the topic to Shaurendra Bhumik.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, if you could take a single photograph of your life, what would it look like?
If I took a single photograph of myself in my journey of life, I would take that photograph when one particular day I was selected for the state team to play cricket for the national tournament, which is known as the Ranji Trophy, way back in 1976. That was the day which I got, I think, the maximum amount of euphoria in myself when I think I jumped, I danced, I sang in a crooked voice, but I took 2 front rolls, 2 back rolls, 1 side flip, because I was so enthralled by what had happened, something which I expected, but was not very sure because I was playing for a state where I was really an outsider. But that is what India is all about. Though I was not from the state, that particular state took me on and made me a part of that team, which was for the first time playing in the national tournament. So I claim that I am one of the first players, just like I am a chartered member of my own club in Toastmasters. But that's something which I would love to take that photograph if we had digital cameras in that time. Unfortunately, we still had those Kodak films which we had to use, and there weren't many people who had cameras at that moment. So I have my own selfie for that moment, which I clicked for myself only in my remembrances, and I can only show it to you through my words. That particular moment, sitting in a place called Shimla, where that is the state Himachal Pradesh, where I was selected and I played my first match against, people in Australia will know that name, Kapil Dev, Haryana. And we were battered by Kapil Dev, but I still remember that day because it stands out as a day in my life. Thank you very much to show you that particular picture of my life. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now we came to know how fond of cricket you are. Really
Yes,
nice. Now the next topic, Amit. What makes a person handsome, Amit?
Yeah, thanks Vishnu for this lovely topic, and good morning to everyone, and good afternoon to our fellow Toastmaster for Australia. Yes, this topic, as according to me, become a handsome, I can say that the inner beauty of anyone life. I mean, if you are great by heart, great by your doing, what you are doing in your life, it makes you handsome, not by the outer beauty, outer skin color or anything. So yes, I strongly believe that inner beauty is the makes anyone handsome and beautiful.
Thank you, Amit. Actually, we become more handsome by helping others. As the word in itself says, handsome. Give your hand to someone, and you automatically become the handsome. Thank you. Now the next topic for Valerie. Hello, do we have Valerie with us?
Yes, hello.
Yeah. So Valerie, here's the topic to you. How do you spend the majority of your free time?
Hello. Yes, hello. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, good morning.
So majority of my time I spend nowadays, I mean the free time, I spend nowadays watching web series on different OTT platforms because there are some innovative content in them. So earlier I used to watch only one web series, that was Game of Thrones. But after lockdown, I think when the theaters were closed down, so there were multiple content on web series. So I'm been watching all of them, mostly in Hindi. So the recent one I watched is Scam 1992, and that's how I spend my time.
Thank you, Valerie.
Thank you.
Now, next topic. Shall we continue, Anirban? Do we have time?
I think.
No, I think we can proceed.
Overrun by 30 more.
Yeah.
Right. So over to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Yes.
Thank you, Vishnu. Thank you, Toastmaster Vishnu, for conducting such a wonderful session. So now let's quickly move to our third section, which is a general valuation section. So for that, we have a general valuator, Toastmaster Rahul. Over to you, Toastmaster Rahul.
Thanks so much, Anil. And let's kick start for the evaluation section now. So let me call upon Abhay, who is going to evaluate Celia's speech for today. Over to you, Abhay.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul. Yes, we all have a story to tell, whether we whisper or yell. And yes, we had a nice kickstart with the speech of Celia. What an amazing speech it was. It was full of emotions, and it was engaging. And I know that this speech would truly light up the day for most of us. In the speech, Celia told us different ways of how to tell a story, whether by seeing at the nature, listening to a music that we love, and looking at the different colors or the graphs or images, and see how anyone could relate to their life and their stories. By looking at the nature, she told us like how we can look at different trees, how we can look at the rivers, and how we can relate it and relate it to our life, and we can better tell our stories. And also she highlighted that how anyone could relate their story by looking at the nature. And she also covered one of the uh, aspects that everybody have in their life, and I know most of us are loving the listening to music and all those. So yes, listening to music is the another way of telling a story. In her speech, Celia have spoke about her work, what she do, like writing the books, and being a spiritual teacher, how she's helping everyone. Talking about her hobbies, she also explained that she loves music and singing. Overall, in her speech, I think there are lots of different points that one of the positive recommendations that I have is, she made use of their hand gestures and hand movements very well. She told the entire story with a good hand movements. The next positive thing that I found in her speech is that a good uses of the different objects that she has, and how well she incorporated between her speech. Talking about her recommendations, well, in her speech, it's already perfect. I couldn't find much, but there's just one thing that I would like to highlight here in terms of the recommendations. Celia, Celia can try to bring some elements, the fun elements, or some elements that can bring the audience engagement even further. Although there are elements in place that can bring the audience engagement, she can also talk about or discuss or ask the different ways of telling the story that everybody else uses. Uh, Overall, it's a great speech, and thanks, and all the best, Celia, for your future. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Rahul.
Thanks, Abhay. Thanks for covering all the possible aspects of Celia's speech today. And that's how we evolve as a speaker also. So let's hear from Kim now what he has got for Sushangat as a feedback. Over to you, Kim.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I had the privilege today. Can everyone hear me okay? Great. I had the privilege of evaluating Susanga's icebreaker speech. Susanga spoke with a very clear, well-paced voice, great eye contact, and an expressive facial gestures and vocals, and a very commanding presence. Now, all of these attributes help to attract and maintain the audience attention. That was very well done. Also, the structure of the speech, or the body of the speech, was very good, going through different factors in the life, which was certainly, we got to know the speaker very well and covered a lot of detail in the history. A point for improvement there would be perhaps have a short, sharp introduction just to get us introduced to the speech before we go straight into the content, and then perhaps have a little short, sharp conclusion. I think Jacinda was so excited to tell us all about all the things he's done in his life that he wanted to keep going, and I'm pretty sure we got that red light. So perhaps maybe a little bit more practice, and that way you can fine-tune your speech and just try and get that into a 5 to 7 minute time frame. I did pick up a couple of little and-ahs. and a you know and an which ain't a little picky. However, how a speaker can overcome that is just by in between phrases and comments, just have a little pause there, and then continue on to your next point. That's a minor point there. As I said, great body to the speech. Save up some of that other great content for future speeches, and I'm sure we're going to draw. Oh, the other thing is there's no need to thank the audience for your speech because we thank you. We thank you with applause. So I really enjoyed that speech. It was fantastic. You opened up and showed controlled emotion, which is really good in a speech. We could tell you enjoyed it, and I really loved that speech. Well done. And back, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thanks, Kim, for sharing your comments, and I hope it is surely going to help all other Toastmasters as well. Now let's hear from our distinguished Toastmaster, Monica, what she has got for ZEF for today. Over to you, Monica.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul, for giving me this opportunity. First of all, I want to thank Jeff for delivering a wonderful speech on a wonderful topic, the quest for why. In our daily life, we want to follow many things because maybe people around us are following those. We don't think that why do we want to follow? And the result is that we just leave the things in between. So if we are clear with the reason why we want to do a particular thing, it will always help us. And through today's speech, Jeff was able to point it out very clearly. Coming to the commendations, Jeff, I like many things about your speech. The first one is that you have a deep and thoughtful voice. Your voice is so good that people would definitely like to listen to you. Second is that you gave the right pauses in your speech. If we use the right pauses, then even if we are not using voice modulation, it works. You're able to deliver the way you want. Third thing is that the speech was well focused on its core point, the quest for why. At no place the focus was lost. Next is that you gave the tools, or I can say you gave us the key points of being disciplined and consistent, which will help us in achieving our goals. Coming to the recommendations, I have 2 recommendations which I'm sure will help you in taking your speech to the next height. First is that please ensure that there is a voice clarity from the internet side, means it should be always on unmute state and there should not be any background disturbances. Second, if you can deliver your speech in a standing position so that you can use your hand gestures well and you can also walk on the stage. Otherwise, all in all, it was a great speech with good content, good pauses, and very nice voice. Just stand, deliver, and I'm sure that you will feel even more confident when you deliver your speech in a standing position. With this, I wish you all the very best, and I would like to listen more from you. Over to you, G. Toastmaster Rahul.
Thanks so much, Monica, for your comprehensive feedback. Now, I would quickly like to invite Amanpreet, who is going to evaluate Seema's speech today. Over to you, Amanpreet.
Thank you, G. Rahul. So, Seema, I have one word for you, wow. What a tremendous improvement you have shown in the last 3 speeches. And I think the improvement is not incremental, it is exponential. The way you are improving yourself is amazing. So the way you introduced the topic and you related it with the book that has been given by the Moon Mountain Toastmaster Club, it was amazing. It really get all the audience into your speech. And then you again followed it up by asking the questions like whether money is necessary for happiness. So it really engaged everyone into that. And everyone was so excited to give their own opinions about that. So it was amazing. Then you covered a lot of different, you stated a lot of different facts from various research. Like you have mentioned that according to the health index, happiness index, Finland is the #1 country. So you basically build on the fact that money is not correlated to the happiness. And then you also quoted the example of Bhutan. So a lot of research has been done into your speech, and it was getting reflected throughout. So I think you have rightly met the purpose of the speech. And also you, the way you standard, and then you used voice modulations, you were trying to interact with the audience as well. You were taking right pauses as well. So that was amazing. So the only thing that which you can further improve, I think, is the flow of the speech. So because you have covered a lot of different things, so the accurate or the topic that you were about to deliver the speech, the happiness, that some way got lost in between. So you started off well, but in between you try to cover a lot of different things. You try to cover, you talked about mic Viking, you talked about the minimum salary that is required to be happy. Then you also talked about India, then you talked about different countries. So that flow was not coming properly. So if you can organize your ideas, the content was there, but if you can organize in, you can spend some time in on organizing those things, that would be perfect. And then the conclusion, you ended up with talking about India and Atithi Devo Bhava and Vasudev Kutumbakam, which was very apt according to the theme of our today's meeting. But if you could have ended up with the topic happiness and have a sharp and crisp conclusion about that, it would have been wonderful. So overall, I think you are doing a great job, and I think you are spending a lot of time in improving yourself and preparing your speeches. The kind of content you have prepared, it was amazing. The only thing is that you need to just now work on the organizing the ideas and then flow of the speech, and you would be there. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Amanpreet, for sharing your comments. And I'm sure like Seema is going to improve with these comments in her journey in Toastmasters. So let's move to the tag, other evaluation parts. So we have a tag team now. I would like to invite Manoj, who is playing the role of timer today. Over to you, Manoj.
Thank you, G. Rahul. Today we have a 4 prepared speech, and out of 4, 3 are qualified in terms of time. So first, Celia. So I would like to say to Celia, what a wonderful ending. How you use the guitar to end your speech. It was wonderful. I'm definitely going to use this to my next speech. And Celia used 6 minutes 42 seconds to deliver his speech. Second one is Susangat. Susangat, many congratulations to you. How you start your speech. In your first speech, you are wonderful, and it is inspires me. In the age of this, you are still looking improvement in yourself, and it is beauty of the Toastmaster. And you take a best use of time. You use 6 minutes 20 seconds. It is the best use of time as a speaker. Second one is Jeff. Jeff used 5 minutes 27 seconds. And I think you should work on how take more advantage in terms of time. And Seema is overshoot the time. She used 8 minutes 2 seconds. I think you should work how you reduce your expression during your speech. And next event is table topic. We have 7 speakers, and I just quickly read out the time taken by the speaker. Dushyant used 54 seconds. Kim used 1 minute 52 seconds. Sinjini used 2 minutes 5 seconds. Celia used 2 minutes 30 seconds. And Rajiv used 2 minutes 10 seconds. Soren sir used 2 minutes 38 seconds. And Amit used 52 seconds. Bellari used 59 seconds. And I'm sorry to Suren sir, I forgot to show you the card because once you started your speech, I thought it was very difficult topic for me and many of us, how you take the picture of your life, but how easily you start your speech. At the same time, I lost in your speech and forgot to show you the red card. Sorry, sir. And now come to the evaluation part. I think this was the most difficult task for today, to evaluate cross country, where we have a different pronunciation, we have different accent, and very difficult sometimes to catch the emotion of the speaker. But our evaluator full justified the role, and no one crossed the limit. Everyone take a full justify to the time. So Abhay used 3 minutes 26 seconds, Kim used 2 minutes 30 seconds, Monica used 2 minutes 30 seconds, and Amanpreet used 2 minutes 25 seconds. So overall, as a timer, I would say we have full justify to the time, and we start our meeting at the on time, and only Seema overshoot the time limit. So this is all from my side. Over to you, Toastmaster Rahul.
Thanks, Manoj, for jotting down the time taken by each speaker and sharing with us. It's really helpful for us. Now let's move to our counter for today's meeting, Anirban. Over to you, Anirban.
Thank you, Rahul. I mean, I first like to apologize because I was so mesmerized about the meeting, I cheated on my role. So whenever I feel mesmerized with the speech, I did not take any notice. But after that, I realized that, okay, I have to point down. So maybe not all the thing I reported. So Celia, I mean, I was completely mesmerized, and I was honest. I tried to find something, but I could not. So this is superb and flawless speech from you and from the accountant side as well. Susangata, I mean, it's such a brilliant speech it was. Unfortunately, I got disconnected in between, and very few things. I think that those were mentioned by Kim as well, that in between there was some R's, and you repeated, the couple of times. So, and you used, I mean, maybe for the first time, a little bit of nervousness and all. There was some few short pauses within your speech that I have noticed. So maybe you can just a little bit work upon that. Jeff, in your speech also, I found a couple of R's over there. And I found you have repeated, your favorite word is and. So a couple of times use and. So that was there. You used 3 or 4 times short pauses, and there were few long pauses as well. So that was I have noticed. Seema, for you, I mean, initially, I think you felt a little bit of nervous, and that's why there were approximately 5-6 times there was R's over there. You just one time you have repeated so. There were few short pauses and long pauses, but overall, I mean, as Amanpreet also said, it's a tremendous improvement from your last speech, and we all enjoyed that lovely speech it was. From, if I come to the table topics, I mean, the Dushwant gave a very short and crisp speech. I could not find any arms or favorite words and all. Rajiv, you just repeated, I think, when you these two things couple of times, and there were a couple of short pauses. Otherwise, it was fine. For Amit, there was 2 hours. Other than that, it was all clear, and rest, it is all clear. So superb meeting, and I'm very happy to be in this meeting and play this role. Over to you, Rahul.
Thanks so much, Anirban, for sharing your report. And let me share my report as a grammarian for today's meeting. So I would start with word of the day use. I see like most of the Toastmasters use this word of the day. So thanks for that. Coming to some good words which we used during the meeting, I would like to share here. So the first one is conquer, provocative, vital, ideology, indulgence, mainstream, content, whisper, yell, and exponential. Now, unfortunately, as a grammarian, but very, very fortunately as a Toastmasters, I would say I haven't find much points to share here for as improvement points. There are few points which I would like to share. So somebody said like my first job where I have to do. So since we are talking about the past, our past one, we need to say my first job where I had to do instead of have to do. Didn't had any doubt. So when we are using didn't, we need to use the first verb basically. So didn't have any doubt. We could not hear you. So while we got the disturbance, somebody was telling we couldn't hear you. Probably we need to say we can't hear you. So then let's back move to theme. I would say we need to say let's move back to the theme. So these are the few improvement areas. Lastly, I would say besides these grammatical point, pronunciation is something which we need to focus. And we saw an example today how a different way of pronunciation can sometimes leads to a big ambiguity when we use success in a different way. So nobody was pronouncing in a wrong way, but that's a different way of pronouncing, I would say. There are a few points which I would like to share as a general evaluator also. So these are generic points. We started on time basically, and that was a good thing considering that it was a joint meeting. So that was a good. Coming to certain terms, it was very loud and clear. So thanks for that, Abhay. I would like to thank President also, who started with a very positive note. So that was a very good thing. For role filling, I would surely like to thank Amanpreet and Kim for coordinating these the roles for today's meeting. So that was a awesome task you guys have performed. Thanks for that. The transition during the meeting was really good. So whether it was a TMOD or whether it was Vishnu when he was performing for TTM topics, that was really goes well. And now I would like to say something for TMOD. So the Vasudev Kutumbakam, I would say it was not only a great topic, it was a pertinent topic for today's meeting. So thanks Anil for that. We got to know a lot of about the Australian culture today, and I hope that our fellow Toastmaster from Australia also got the same a lot of about the Indian culture. So yeah, thanks Anil for that. Regarding TTM, Vishnu, I would say, Vishnu, thanks for this interesting and engaging topic and offering in a very transparent way also so that everybody got enough opportunity to speak. So thanks for that, Vishnu.
Thank you.
At this stage, I would like to appreciate Rajiv also. Rajiv, I would like to appreciate you the way you took your topic and the way you articulated in a way. So it was a very good thing, which I like to appreciate here. I would like to say a few words about the speakers also. So I would start with Celia. Celia, I would say your topic was actually propelled us to stop, introspect, and see the spiritual side of our life also. So thanks for that. And it was an absolute immersive experience for, I would say, all of us to hear you basically today. And it was a great learning also for us, like how beautifully you articulated in 6 or 7 minutes a lot of things about yourself. So that's the beauty, and that's the thing which we all need to learn from you. So thanks for that. I would like to say a few words for Sushangat actually. So this is the first ice-breaking speech. Sushangat has recently joined us last week only, and he sounds very confident. He's very, it's great to hear him, Sushangat. We got to know a lot of things about you. Thanks for sharing all these things, Sushangat, and looking forward to hear you more. Jeff, so I would say a few words for Jeff also. Why? So Jeff, this is something, it was a very innovative topic which you have selected, I would say. And I was just thinking like when we were young, basically, when we were kids, we used to have a lot of whys in our mind. And as we grow gray, the why start disappearing from our mind. And that's how the innovation also start disappearing sometimes. So that's something I would say. Thanks, Jeff, for reminding us about this beautiful word, why. And I would say a few words for Seema also. Seema recently joined a few months back only, but I must say, Seema, the way you are proceeding your journey in Toastmaster, it's beautiful, it's great, the way you are improving. And it's really great to see how you read a book and you quickly articulated a few points for us. You briefed few points for us, which actually contain a lot of good message. It contained a food for thought for us also. So thanks for that. Regarding evaluators, I would say it was impeccable. I don't need to say anything about the evaluation. We got to know a lot of things about each our feedback. So in overall, I would say I really enjoyed today's meeting. It was a great experience, and I look forward to have such more meetings for like this. And really would like to thank all the guests also who joined today in a chilly morning. Thanks for that. Over to you, TMOD Anil.
Thank you, General Evaluator Rahul Jain. So I was planning to cover two more topics. One was the supports. I believe we all know how passionate we are in cricket. Okay. So the second one was I wanted to cover the tourism. Okay. So it's very important to talk about two. One is Taj Mahal. We all understand it's timeless symbol of love. And the second is Sydney Opera House and Harbour Bridge. So definitely it's very difficult to cover all those topics. So it's the beginning to browse the internet and understand more about Australia and India. So please spend some time and make a plan to at least visit some of the places, okay, to learn more about the culture and other things. So with this, now I would like to hand over stage to our presiding officer, Toastmaster Anirban. Over to you, Toastmaster Anirban.
Thank you, Anil. I mean, guys, I would not finish this meeting like this. So as this is a special meeting, at least for last 5 minutes or 6 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever we have, let's all having a celebratory mood. And maybe I will try to reach a few of the people over here. So fast I could see that, I mean, there is a guest here, Arjit Singh. So Arjit, I would like to unmute yourself. So I don't know how many of you know that I'm a dual member. I'm a member of my Barclays corporate club as well, and Arjit is the president over here. So though he is not the prospective member of this particular club, but I'm extremely happy to see Arjit over here. So Arjit, please share your experience for joining here.
Yeah, thank you, Anirban. So we are from same club. We both are from the same club, and I know I am late because I woke up late because Sunday morning. And I'm enjoying this meeting, and I regret that I missed this joint meeting between, it is like a match between India and Australia. So I don't want to say it again, but yeah, we recently won the series. I don't want to reiterate that, but yeah, I got the opportunity, but I'm doing it. But yes, in the end, there is very good relationship between India and Australia, and I'm really looking forward for such meetings. Maybe through this club or maybe from our club, but yes, I still regret it, but it is my now responsibility to come back again, see future meetings in this club, and maybe we will have future meetings with Australian Toastmasters Club as well. And I am the president of Barclays, not a Toastmaster Club, so you are all invited to join us. We have meetings on Saturday at 3:30. You will definitely enjoy our meetings. We have been recently elected. It will be our pleasure to invite you in our meetings, and you will definitely get a taste of a different meeting which we have planned out in our tenure. That's it. Thank you so much for inviting. Thank you, Anirban, and kudos to you for conducting this joint meeting. Thank you.
Thanks, Arjit. So we have our next guest today is Dushyant. So Dushyant, how's the experience?
I would say, I'm feeling quite fortunate to have a company of you all, and it's really, it's one of the best experience I could have, and it's a next leap in my life, I believe. There's people from various culture, India, various ages. Now, I can't recall everything, but there are few things which are really, which have stricken my mind, which is which made me think to further work upon me. That is one thing I really liked. Everything is great, but there are a few things which I really liked. One is Mr. Surendra Bhaumik, wow moment when he got a chance to play at Ranji. So that made me think to find my wow moment also. There are few, but still there are still more to come. So that is one. Then Seema Gupta's speech on happiness. So that boils down to one thing, that is there are three things that she found in Ikigai. One is food and something to work on, activity, and third, the most important is relationship. Then Celia's story, taking life as a story, that's really important in everything. So if we take everything as a story, that everything will be interesting. There's no negative or positive in that. So that's a story. So it's an amazing thing, and I'm really thankful to Susangat for introducing me to this group. And he has been a role model for me and many of my friends as well, because he has been a learner always. So I'm really happy, and I'm really thankful to all.
Thank you, Dushyant. I mean, it's really very heartwarming to know your feelings, and we are also feeling very blessed and happy to have you in this meeting. So next, I would like to request Jeffrey to share your experience and how you like this meeting.
Thank you very much, Anaban. Yeah, I've enjoyed the meeting. It's quite different to our meeting in a couple of different ways. However, it's our program is more segmented, and not saying this is a bad way. It's an equally as good way to run a meeting. And of course, we're back to face in our meetings now. We're not still doing them on Zoom, so we're fortunate enough to be able to do that in our country at the moment. But I'll just thank everybody that participated in the program. I enjoyed it. Thanks, Monica. I know she's not here now, but thank you very much if someone could for her evaluation. They're always helpful when you get an evaluation to where you're going with your Toastmasters journey. And I've just really enjoyed the meeting, and I wish you all the best in the future with your club, and I hope that you get many more meetings. And I'd like to actually reciprocate one day. I know we meet on a Wednesday evening, but that might be have to set up a data projector and things like that, but it's definitely a possibility in the near future. Thank you very much for inviting us along, Anaban, and the rest of your members. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey. And I know, I mean, how difficult it was, because you guys only resumed on this 20th of January, and I mean, at the very first meeting, not all the members were there, and then try to convince them and to make this meeting happen. So from here, I'm about to get into my vote of thanks, and there is my sincere thanks to Kim, then Amanpreet, and last but definitely not the least, Celia. I was following up with her almost for last 1 month to make this happen. And I would first like to go to Kim, that what's your experience, and thanks to you. I mean, the way you have constantly coordinated and make this happen. So please share your experience.
I really enjoyed the meeting. I'm very impressed with the way you run the meetings. Everything's good. I'm impressed with the experience that everyone demonstrates in the meeting, their different roles. Everyone performed their roles really well. Like, I couldn't pick up any really points for improvement for the roles. Everyone was unbelievable, and no problem with the language. Like, I thought, I've met some Indians before and they speak very fast, but all you guys spoke very well. I'm very impressed. And Sasank, I didn't realise that you'd only been a member for 1 week. Is that right? 1 week. And you've done the icebreaker speech. Brilliant. I'll email Ian Barn the evaluation form for that. Yeah, I just Very impressed, thoroughly enjoyed it, and well done to everyone. Great. Smiling faces, that's the key. Everyone looked really happy. That's great.
Absolutely, absolutely, Kim. And next, I would like to request Amanpreet. I mean, from the behind the scene, the way you made it happen. Please share your experience of playing for this, make this meeting happen, and today's experience as well.
First of all, I would like to thank Kim, Celia, and Jeff